Hiya folks, welcome back, or indeed if you're new to the channel, I hope you liked today's video, and if you do, don't forget to give me a like and hit that subscription button. Right, in today's video we're going to make the nicest chocolate brownies you've ever had in your whole life, that's guaranteed. Now one thing I like about chocolate brownies is the ingredients. The ingredients you can get from one supermarket only. You don't need to travel half the country to go and get your ingredients or go and source them. So what are the ingredients? Well, number one, all the ingredients and the weight of the ingredients are listed below. But just to give you an overview, we have some plain flour, golden caster sugar, large eggs, unsalted butter, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate, cocoa powder and hazelnuts. Now I roast these hazelnuts before I add them in, for the simple reason is they let out a lot of natural oils and they taste quite, when you mix them up with the brownies, they taste quite natural and a nutty flavour, which I like. So just be careful if you're allergic to nuts, obviously you don't add hazelnuts. Now, step one is to melt the unsalted butter and the dark chocolate. So let's go and do that first. Okay folks, so how do we melt our butter and our chocolate? We do so by putting a glass bowl on top of a saucepan with a cup of water in the saucepan on a low temperature. Now, as you can see, it's gently rolling, and I'm able to pick up the glass bowl because it's not piping hot. It's on a low temperature that's gently going to heat the butter and heat the chocolate. Now, a key thing to remember is never have the glass bowl touching the water, or else it's going to burn the chocolate, and you don't want that. It's going to create a nasty flavour. Now, in with our butter. And now in with our chocolate, our dark chocolate. Now listen, we're going to do this basically for the next 7 to 8 minutes to leave this in a nice liquid format. Okay folks, you can see now we have this completely melted, both the butter and the chocolate, and it's a beautiful, beautiful silky texture and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Now the next step to do is to take this off the heat, place it beside your oven and let it get to room temperature. Okay folks, before we crack any eggs, I forgot to mention at this point we need to preheat our oven. Now you need to preheat your oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I've already done that, so now let's go ahead and crack our eggs and add our sugar. Now folks, I'm using a mixer, a food mixer, but you can also do this by hand if you want. It's just as much fun doing it by hand as using it with a food mixer. Now, we're going to let this mix now for about 5 or 6 minutes. Okay folks, so I've used the mixer and mixed for 5 to 7 minutes, and this is basically what the mixture looks like. This is the consistency you want, so basically it's like a milkshake for an example. Now you can see all those air bubbles. You want to keep as many of those as possible. So now we're going to fold in our cooled chocolate mix and fold it in to the egg mix until we get it all married up nicely. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now we have that folded in very nicely. We're now going to add our cocoa powder and our plain flour, but first we're going to pass it through a sieve. Now we'll start with our cocoa powder. That's exactly why we're putting it through a sieve. We don't want those nasty little lumps, so we'll just discard them. Next, onto our plain flour. Same again, discard the little lumps. Now we're going to fold all that together now again. Now we've got this folded together just beautifully. Now I can see there's still loads of air and it's quite light looking. That's the way we want it. That's why we fold action. We bring it up, in through the air and back down. That's key for keeping the fluffiness to the brownies. So now folks, our mixture is nearly ready to go. I'm just going to add in my roasted hazelnuts. Give them one mix around just once, and then we're going to pour it into our tray and ready for baking. Now let's pour it into a tray. Okay folks, I have a medium-sized tray and I have added in parchment paper. Now you need to add the parchment paper, obviously that the brownies isn't going to stick to the tray. So let's go ahead and fold this in nicely to our tray. Now we're going to spread this all around our tray, get as even as possible. Try not to push down too much, you only want to influence it. You don't want to lose all those nice air bubbles, so you just want to push it side to side, but not too much force. Finally, we're going to add our milk chocolate and our white chocolate and dot it all around our mix so it'll come up quite nice. Now at this point I like to use a teaspoon just to influence some of those chips down into the dough ever so slightly. Okay, that's us. We're ready to go into the oven now for 25 minutes. Right guys, I have the oven preheated. The mix is ready to go. So now we're going to put this in now for 25 minutes. Okay folks, our brownies are complete. Now I've taken them out of the oven. They've rested for about 2 to 2.5 hours to cool down. I've taken them off the tray and I've sliced them. I was able to get 10 even cubes and they look good, they even taste better, so that's how they look. Now the last thing I'm going to show you, and this is completely optional, is to take it to the next level. Presentation, because the first thing you do is you eat with your eyes. So I'm going to try my best to present these amazing brownies as they are already, present them just a little bit better. And I'm going to show you how it's really cheap, cost effective and really easy. Now we'll take our 2 brownies. Now I'm going to be eating these brownies, hence I'm handling them myself. So, now put them onto a plate, get a sieve, okay? Now in your supermarket you can buy some icing sugar. Icing sugar is basically powdered sugar, but it's actually nice. It can come across quite nice when you decorate it on the top of something. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So what we're going to do is a teaspoon of icing sugar into our sieve. Now from a height, because you don't want this you don't want to layer this too thick, because the last thing you need is someone question you what's in those brownies, considering you're going around with a load of white powder in your face, and you don't need that. So from a height, put your brownies, okay? Just dust them ever so slightly, like a snow effect, okay? Obviously don't lash it on that you can't see the chocolate. Okay. The next thing we're going to do, that's our icing sugar done. Next thing we're going to do, take a slate. You can get these in the roofs of most houses, or you could be a little bit more civilised and go and buy one. So take a slate, take a small fork, place it on the slate to your left. Now, this is where it gets a bit neat. This is real Michelin star, and you're really going to impress your guests here if you do this. Take your sieve again, okay? A little bit of cocoa powder on a teaspoon. The cocoa powder that you've already used in making the brownies. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to layer the cocoa powder ever so lightly across this fork, which is going to leave the mark of a fork on the slate, right? So we'll do that now. Now you'll notice I'm a little bit closer doing this, just because I want to make sure I cover enough so we can get the shape of the fork, okay? Now, that's that. Put that to the side. Couple of raspberries. We'll balance our sweet with our sour, okay? I think 3 is enough. On with our brownies. Remove the fork. Now, this is where it gets tricky, because you don't want to shake off some of the cocoa powder that's on the fork. Remove the fork. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's easy presentation. You can see it only takes a minute, but it just makes the dish look that so much better. Well, listen guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to the video, don't forget to hit that subscription button and give me a like, and hit that notification button, and I'll see you again soon. I'm going to enjoy these.